Hey, my fine people, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. Now, if I could figure out what the hell I'm doing, I'll be in business here because I'm just kind of confused as to why this keeps jacking around. Okay, so let's talk about people who pretend to be nice but actually aren't. They usually display these 7 subtle behaviors. And this is from vegoutmag.com. VEG, like vegetable, OUTMAG, Veg Out Mag, like Veg Out Magazine. Vegoutmag.com is where I found this article. Okay? People who pretend to be nice but actually aren't. They may smile, compliment, and offer help, but underneath the surface, something feels off. Here are the subtle signs that someone's niceness is just a mask. We all encountered someone who seemed perfectly pleasant on the surface, generous smile, friendly tone, maybe even a warm compliment thrown your way, but something felt off. Over time, cracks started to show, the mask slipped. Not everyone who acts nice is genuinely kind. In psychology, this is sometimes linked to what's called impression management, the practice of shaping how others perceive you, often for self serving reasons. The tricky part? These people aren't outright cruel. In fact, their manipulative behavior can be so subtle that you question whether it's even real. Here are 7 quiet but telling behaviors that reveal when someone is pretending to be nice but really isn't. Number 1, they only show kindness when others are watching. And some people, this is me talking and not the article. Some people are so, what would the word be? Toxic, that they're not even going to fake it in front of other people because they're not capable, period. Because whatever is happening, unless it has everything to do with them, then they need to be in the spotlight. But otherwise, yeah. Truly kind people are consistent. They treat the janitor the same as they treat the CEO. But those who fake niceness tend to be selective with their charm. They go out of their way to be helpful in public, but become indifferent or even cold when no one's watching. You might notice they're sweet to their boss, but dismissive to service staff. Or they post their good deeds on social media, but in private, they're resentful or impatient. Red flag, their kindness comes with an audience. Number 2, their compliments often come with a subtle sting. A genuine compliment makes you feel seen and valued, but with fake nice people, praise can be laced with judgment or comparison. Think, you look great today, so much better than usual. Wow, right? That's backhanded compliment. That was a good presentation. I didn't expect that from you. These are called backhanded compliments, and they're a way of asserting superiority while pretending to be supportive. It's not just about being tactless, it's about power dynamics hidden behind a smile. Their praise leaves you second guessing yourself. And of course, it's not real praise, right? Number 3, they gossip under the guise of concern. People who pretend to be nice often disguise gossip as worry or moral high ground. They'll say things like, I feel so bad for her. She's really letting herself go. Or, I'm only telling you this because I care, but did you hear what he did last weekend? The real goal isn't empathy, it's control. They want to position themselves as trustworthy while sowing doubt about others. According to researchers on social behavior, gossip can strengthen social bonds, but only when it's constructive or compassionate. Malicious gossip, on the other hand, is a hallmark of inauthenticity. They stir drama while pretending to keep the peace. Number 4, they rarely apologize unless they're caught. Everyone makes mistakes. The difference is in how we respond. A truly kind person owns up. Someone pretending to be kind, they'll avoid responsibility at all cost. If they do apologize, it often sounds like this: "I'm sorry you feel that way." Or, "I didn't mean it like that, but okay." Wow. These aren't real apologies. They're blame shifting tactics that keep their image intact while deflecting accountability. And they're often only used when there's no other option, like when they're publicly called out. Their apologies are insincere or manipulative. Number 5, they keep score, even in friendships. Kindness, by definition, is given freely, but people who fake kindness often treat it like a transaction. They'll remind you of everything they've ever done for you. "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me? Remember when I helped you move? I thought we were closer than this." This is emotional bookkeeping, and it's a sign their nice behavior came with invisible strings attached. Relationships to them are about leverage, not connection. Their generosity, quotation marks, is used as a weapon. Number 6, they subtly invalidate your emotions. Fake nice people often rely on surface level positivity to avoid real emotional depth. They might claim to be supportive, but when you're vulnerable, they'll quickly get uncomfortable. You might hear, "Don't be so sensitive. You're overreacting. Just think positive. Why are you always so negative?" What they're really doing is shutting down your emotional expression because it doesn't fit their curated image of being the upbeat, agreeable one. In psychology, this is called toxic positivity, using a veneer of optimism to dismiss or ignore genuine emotions. They seem supportive until you express something real. Okay? And we've talked about that before, toxic positivity, where no matter what you've been through, especially if it's not the greatest, and we've all been through it, whether it's real bad traffic or your boss called you on the carpet today, or um, your mom is real sick and she might not make it. They'll be like, "God, why are you so dark and negative?" These are not negative things that people are pulling out of the sky. These are real things that are happening or have happened. And I don't know what world somebody's living in where balloons are always in the sky, regardless of whether the sun is out or not. Tornadoes don't exist. Hurricanes don't exist. The sun is usually out and everyone's supposed to be happy all the time. And that's asinine and stupid and unrealistic, right? So if someone is acting like your reality, they'll dismiss it by saying, "Why are you being so negative? Why you always talk like that? Why?" They want you to be thrilled, which is unrealistic. "Oh, your mom's in the hospital, might not make it. You need to you better spin that a different way. You need to stop being so negative and say that your mom's probably gonna make it, even if she doesn't," which is stupid and ridiculous, right? People do die. They do. Okay? It's not being negative, it's reality. So if someone is dismissing you and not accepting your reality, what's really going on, dismissing it like, "Oh, you always think that way. You're so negative." That's called toxic positivity, and it's not healthy, and it's a way that people dismiss what you're going through because they don't want to deal with it. I went there. Number 7, they mirror others to fit in but lack a core identity. At first, it may seem like they're just great at making people feel comfortable, but over time, something starts to feel off. They're too agreeable, always saying what others want to hear, always nodding, never disagreeing. Eventually, you realize they don't really have opinions of their own. This chameleon behavior isn't about empathy, it's about image control. They're constantly adapting to maintain social approval, not because they care, but because they fear rejection or want power. As Carl Jung once said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. People who haven't done this inner work often resort to mimicry instead of authenticity. They seem likable but strangely hollow. Final thoughts. Kindness without depth is just performance. There's a difference between being nice and being kind. Hmm. So, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I once talked to a guy, I met him that day, and it was a weird situation. I don't even want to go there, but anyway, um, one of the first thing, like early in conversation, he said, "Oh, I don't deal with anything negative. I don't want nobody bringing me nothing negative. I'm not going to deal with that." Right. Basically, he's telling you right out the gate, I don't really want to hear your sob story. Okay? If something bad happens to you, you're going to have to either keep it to yourself or tell somebody else because I don't want to hear nothing negative. That was such a massive turnoff. Massive turnoff. He's not the type of person I would want to get to know. And you know what's funny about him? I think I apologized because of someone else's behavior, and he got very snitty about it in text. He was very negative. Now, wait a second. Wait a second. He was like, oh, it's not a big deal. He was just real snotty about it. Now, wait a second. Hold it. Did he or did he not say he don't like negativity, but then he's spitting negativity? How about that? Yeah, no, dude. I saw him in a store a good ways after that whole thing went down, and I avoided him like the bubonic plague because I knew that I didn't know the terminology. I didn't know the term toxic positivity at that time. I didn't know it, but I knew that it was a turnoff. Something about it didn't feel right. I don't even want to get to know you as a friend because right out the gate, you acting simple. Bad things happen. And if you live in a world where nothing bad has ever happened, well, my God, I need to be living in your world. Okay? But unfortunately, I have to live in reality. All right? Bad things happen, stressful things happen. You know, people get hurt, people get sick, people have car accidents, people have miscarriages, people lose their jobs, I mean, sometimes life is a bitch. And, to act like you're supposed to dismiss all of those scenarios and shrug your shoulders and act like it's not a big deal, or to turn something very serious into something positive is unrealistic and stupid. Unrealistic and stupid. So, when you hear this person talk like this, and I've been through this, can you tell? When you hear this person talk like this, you know that you cannot ever be close to them and you can never share anything with them that requires their support because you're supposed to spin that in a positive way. If you got knocked down and hit upside the head and you got your purse snatched, you're supposed to spin that into something happy. You got knocked down and you jumped back up real quick and you ran 5 blocks and you almost caught the person. You got to somehow force it to be pleasant, even though it was a very unpleasant thing and you were a victim of a crime. You're supposed to spin it into something positive. And that's just stupid. So if somebody talks that nonsensical ridiculosity out of their mouth, you already know you cannot really have a friendship with this person because this person will never be supportive of you. They will want you to be supportive of them, but they're not trying to do that to you. And when you know that right out the gate from the nonsense that they're spewing, you know that's not the type of person that you would want to associate with, and that's not the type of person you want to be friends with at all. Because right out the gate, they're being unrealistic and dismissive. Unrealistic and dismissive. So let's take me breaking my leg, for example. Believe it or not, and I know I told you all this before, I was thinking about this the other day. I had a tib fib fracture. Okay, so the tibia is the bone in the front on your bottom, the bottom part of your leg. Um, the tib is in the front and the fibula is behind it. Okay, so I had tib fib fracture and with partial ankle involvement. And believe it or not, when I broke my toes, that hurt 1,000 times worse than the leg. Now, I'm not saying there weren't bad days when I was recovering from the broken leg. There were bad days. Because one of the worst things, and anybody who's suffered that kind of injury, when you stand up and you can feel your heart beating and the blood goes down to that leg, your leg starts throbbing and you're like, oh my God. I mean, it's just not. But if I have that individual that said, oh, I don't deal with nothing negative, I would already know that if that person was supposedly an acquaintance or supposedly a friend, I can't tell them, I broke my leg because and I need a ride to the ER. I can't tell them that because they don't want to hear nothing negative. Negative. Even though it's reality, they don't want to hear it. You calling me up with that? Or they may not answer their phone. Or they'll come up with some excuse. Oh, I don't deal with nothing negative. You broke your leg? Yeah, I ain't dealing with that. And they run faster than an Olympic runner. And it's like, wow, really? Unless they needed something, then it's a different story. But anyway, yeah, the toes hurt worse than the leg when I broke the leg. And I asked the doctor, I said, oh my God, why does this hurt so much worse than when I broke my leg? And he said, I'll never forget those words. He said, any place in your body that has decreased blood flow is going to hurt more. He better stop telling me negative stuff. I don't want to hear this. Even though it's reality. He better spin that and make it happy. Ridiculous. So stupid. Insane. Absolutely insane. So anyway. Yeah. So we've had in Missouri, okay? We've had a heat wave that will make your eyelashes sweat. Okay? Your eyebrows will start sweating. It was just absolutely insane. We're getting a slight break from it now, but it was, oh my God, every single day. Bam, heat. Now, it would get a little cooler at night. Not much, but it would be a little bit cooler at night. Well, we've had a couple of streets buckle because of the heat. All right? You can look it up online. Cape Girardeau, Missouri. A street buckled. Okay? Oh, excuse me. And somehow they got it on video. I don't know if it was a camera from a near business or what. I don't really know. But it was a smaller type car. And it was going down the road. And when it hit this particular spot, The road immediately buckled from the heat and the car went airborne. It did like a swoop, boom, kind of deal. Like it didn't go super high in the air, but enough to do damage to their vehicle. I'm like, what the hell? And then Columbia, Missouri also had a street buckle because of the heat. Asphalt is softer than cement, and most streets are made of asphalt. So they believe that is the reason why. So I told a friend of mine, I said, hey, when you're going down a road, you need to be careful because we got streets that are buckling in Missouri. So, like, you need to be careful. And the person that drove that small car where they went airborne, a little bit airborne, you know, it was they could not prepare for it because the street buckled right immediately before they drove over that spot. So there was absolutely no warning and no way to know that that was going to happen. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. The heat was just absolutely insane. Oh my goodness. And more rain. We had torrential rain. Oh, excuse me. Torrential rain. This has just been. I remember one time, it was in a summer, and myself and my friend were driving to take. We went to, I want to say it was near Camdenton, or might have been in Camdenton, which is not too far from Lake of the Ozarks. And he was bringing his jet ski there. And honey, it rained so freaking hard that particular year. We got tons of rain that year. The summer was probably the wettest summer I've ever experienced in this area. And we're going down the highway, and it was raining so hard that you literally could not see the lane you were in. So everybody in front and everybody behind us, from what we could see, okay, because visibility was bad. It rained cats and dogs. It was pouring, 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 and thankfully everybody had enough sense to slow down and pull over into the shoulder, because there's no point in you risking having an accident, hurting someone, or worse, when you can't see, and it's just raining like crazy, violent rain. But yeah, everybody, I gotta give everybody props. Everybody pulled over, including us. We pulled over and just waited until the rain calmed down because it was buck wild. Buck wild. All right, you all take care, stay safe, stay cool, and I'll talk to you fine folks later. Bye.